Good evening. I'm Trevion Amir, Sports Marketing and Media, Full Sail University. Of course, I feel that special public speaking is more so needed, especially when you're dealing with in the sense of media or being having to speak in front of people or being in front of the camera as a commentator, sportscaster, newscaster, or any of those things. So you need to be able to enunciate and speak and come across to people with no problem. So I feel that is the best need in my degree plan of sports marketing and media. Um, as I listened to Phil and Gar speaking about the 21st century presentation, I really kind of relate to that. I think it helps feel a person feel at ease and calm with what they're doing. I've heard about the death by PowerPoints. Uh, I'm a staff sergeant in the military, so I do a lot of class giving, whether it be to my soldiers, my peers, my subordinates, however it comes across. So we do a lot of that. Death by PowerPoint and spoke about a lot. Um, I tend to ask my soldiers because I heard that at one point people was like, "Oh, a class by Sergeant Amir, death by PowerPoint." So I spoke to a few of my soldiers and asked some of my peers as well, "What do you think about me and my classes?" And they basically came across and told me, like, for the most part, I think you give a pretty good class. They like how I try to engineer different type of things. The whole storytelling focus I've been doing for a while, and not even know I've been doing it. I just feel that's best to use different avenues and trying to get something across when giving a class, as long as it keeps some type of professionalism. So I tend to do that, and they say it's good, but of course we always know we can improve. Now, when we're talking about professional execution, my professional execution I don't think is that bad right now. I think my sound is pretty good. My lighting could probably be some a little better. My frame is pretty good. I got some room. I think I'm equal within the space above me, to the left and to my right. Uh, so I think that's pretty good. Background is good. Just a plain white background, nothing too extravagant and nothing a whole lot of stuff going on. But for the most part, maybe my sound and lighting can be a bit better. As I looked at the everyday presentation, I identify with some of those things that's on there that I do that I seem as being my presentation problems. That being, sometimes I tend to repeat myself more than once. Like over my head, I'm going over it again and going over it again. So I say it again, but it enunciates through comes between my lips. Uh, Also, I at the end of the day, at the end of the presentation, I tend to ask questions, like trying to look for some type of feedback. Of course, being in a classroom environment, that's what you look for. But of course, some people are scared to say something because they don't want to seem being wrong, or they don't want to ask a question because they feel it's a dumb question. So I tend to get the whole cricket sounding effect in my head, and I try to get out of them. Now, being a staff sergeant, saying sometimes I come across like, okay, if you don't, we're gonna sit here till someone asks a question. Of course, in the presentation, that could kind of rub people the wrong way, because at that point, especially if you've been at work for all day, now you got a class, you're ready to get up out of there, so you don't want to hear that. So I try to do more things that basically come across, so that way they want to give some type of feedback, or they want to speak about what we got going on. Sometimes they tend to go a little further than what I think, and now I'm trying to figure out a way to close it out. But those are some of the problems that I feel that I have when I'm doing my presentations. Now, when I speak about my goals, three goals, I'm very sure I have plenty more, but the three goals that I definitely have is, one, in general, of course, to be able to be a clear and concise person that gives a presentation. I want the message to be clear. I don't want anything to be left of wondering, what was I talking about? What was I trying to say? What was going on? Another goal that I'm looking to become a better speaker. I tend to mumble and stutter and utter over words when I'm talking. That's just something that as time goes on, I'm going to get better at. I mean, I've been working at doing it a few times, since maybe for about 4 or 5 years, but with formal presentation training, I think I could be a whole lot better. I hope to get some of that within this week time frame, month time frame, out of class. Also, I want to become more in depth with the whole 21st century presentations. Like as I said before, I've been doing it for a while, without knowing it. But now that I know it, after going across some things in class, looking at some of my peers and how they do things, and basically become a better public speaker in general, I hope to get that from this class. Thank you for listening. Trevion. See you soon.